The Buddha said, yes, you are right. Then another group said, when it was floating like this, some people may come and take it home and cut into pieces and use as firewood. Then the Buddha said, yes, you are right. Then another group said, this one, if there is any island, this people landed somewhere on the way. Then the Buddha said, yes, you are right. Another group said, oh, this may reach the sea. Then the Buddha said, yes, you are right. Then he said, our life is exactly like that piece of wood. Uncertainty. No one can say earlier what really happened later. We can create our own imagination, but impermanency, changes can take place according to circumstances. These are beautiful parables, advices given by the Buddha for us to understand. He never prepared his talk and distribute the papers and ask people to read. He watched their mind first, whether people can understand what he is going to preach, because he gets that psychic power and enlightenment. We haven't got that. Then he preached according to their mind. Then very easily they can grasp. That is why some people cannot understand. After listening to one or two words from the Buddha, some of them attain Arahant. We have been learning Buddhism from our childhood, still we could not attain anything. Those people, after listening one or two words, attain Arahanthood, they say. The reason is, the Buddha studied the mind first, then find out whether he can understand this. What are the obstructions, hindrances? How far he has developed his mind earlier to understand this. He got special characteristic, 6 kind of characteristic. This is one of them. So, attainment of sainthood instantly. Then the second one is Samadhi. Samadhi means the mind that we cultivated by observing precept, abstaining and developing. We keep away from killing, that is abstaining. We develop kindness, compassion towards others, positive side. And we abstain from stealing, bluffing, swindling, cheating. On the other side, we develop honesty, sincerity. So the precept divided into 2. Negative, positive. Not only abstaining, not only keeping away from bad things, we have to cultivate good things also. Then there is no fear of God, fear of hell, fear of punishment, but through understanding. When you observe the precept, you protect others, not only you. If you like to have good neighbors, you must have a nice fence or wall. Otherwise, always there will be argument, disturbances. But when you put up nice fence or wall, you protect your house and your family, you protect their house and their family also. So observing precept is exactly like this. Now you decide not to kill. Then you allow others to live peacefully without fear. That is the highest contribution that you can perform for them. You stop stealing, swindling, cheating, bluffing others. Then they can live peacefully. No need to lock the door also at night time. Those who believe in God for their protections and blessings is very good. No one can say it is wrong. But don't forget to lock the door at night time when you go out. There is no guarantee that God will protect your house until you come back. That is Buddhism. When I went to Australia, after my talk, one Australian lady asked this question: what is the Buddhist concept toward God? I told her, the Buddha never said that there is no God. You cannot find this word in the Buddha's teaching. There is no God. In fact, one of the disciples asked this question: have you got evidence to prove the existence of Devas or God? The Buddha gave a very interesting answer. He said, what have you got to prove that Devas or God do not exist? And we can understand the Buddha's attitude. That means he doesn't want to highlight and he doesn't want to deny. To him it is not very important. If you know how to fulfill your duties, responsibilities, by maintaining your human dignity, give respect to your human intelligence, God is not important to you. So I gave this parable to that lady. So if you believe in God, if you pray to God, if you worship, very good. But don't forget to lock your door when you go out. You must know how to do your duty. That is Buddhism. If God exists, so much the better. If God does not exist, you never lose anything. That is Buddhism. So, when we develop this mind, we maintain some sort of peace, calmness, tranquility, satisfaction in our life. Now we haven't got any of them. Because our minds are very weak. Do you know the reason why our minds are very weak? We have fear because of that weakness. We have insecurity feeling because of that fear. We have suspicion because of that fear. Small children scared of so many things because their minds are very weak. And we also maintain this fear. Reason is, every minute we are wasting our mental energy for nothing through our five senses. How you use your senses? Your eyes, your ear, your nose, your mouth and your body, these five channels, you extract the mental energy and fix that energy to the external object and create your imagination, suspicion, fear, worry and admiring and enjoying emotional satisfaction. Use your mental energy. In the end, you won't gain anything. Disturb the mind, that's all. You collect so many rubbish from outside through the five senses and disturb the poor mind. Mind has no time to relax. Every second, either through the senses, if not the mind itself, create imagination, also mental energy. So, minds are weak because we are wasting energy. Example. A huge waterfall. The water pouring, spread everywhere. There's nobody through proper channels. An engineer, having seen this, he decided to make a dam to collect the water. After that, produce hydroelectricity to illuminate the whole country. Formerly, they wasted that water. Exactly in the same manner, we are wasting our mental energy for nothing. Here the Buddha introduced, don't waste your mental energy through these five senses. Close these five. Then the mind gets the chance to relax. Because mind has to reject, mind has to accept, and to consider whether to accept or to reject. Real torture to the mind. Keep away from all those things. Allow that poor mind to relax. At that time, you rejuvenate, you recharge the battery in your mind that you have wasted. When you concentrate on one particular object, neutral object, without allowing the mind to run here and there, then you develop. Bhavana means development, not meditation. Meditation means deep thinking. There's no religious value. The Buddha used the word bhavana, development. Development of the mind, that means we harness, accumulate the lost energy and develop. When it is developed, the mind becomes very dynamic force. The fear we had earlier disappear. Suspicion, insecurity, all those things disappear. Then we get courage, knowledge, understanding, wisdom through this cultivation. This method has no religion, not belong to any particular religion. Any human being who has a mind can practice this method. Then, when these disturbances are no more there, we have certain evil root deeply rooted into the mind, difficult to uproot. Now we keep quiet, look nice, look very cultured or religious when there are no disturbances. Now you have very serene looking faces, very happy, very calm, very nice, look very good people. But one or two words are more than enough to irritate and provoke and disturb you, you can behave like devils. Because those devils were sleeping, hiding. Now we are not, you don't allow them to come up. By considering the nature of our mind, we are keeping them always at the bottom as sediment. When circumstances come, irritation, temptation, then arouse. Entirely change our attitude, our way of life, our face, our mind, through the influence of internal evil forces. As long as these evil forces remain, we never experience happiness. Happiness is one thing, pleasure is another thing. We take pleasure as happiness. It is not happiness. Pleasure we gain, what is pleasure? Emotional satisfaction, fleeting nature, next moment disappear. The pleasure you had at this moment become the biggest headache and problem next moment. Now you can understand the difference between pleasure and happiness. Happiness we cannot gain by keeping those evil forces in the mind. When those evil forces, anger, jealousy, grudge and ill will, selfish ideas are no more in the mind, then the brightness that appear in the mind is the happiness. So now you are not experiencing happiness. You use the wrong word. It is not happiness. It is emotional satisfaction or pleasure. Pleasures are changeable, moment to moment. So if you want to maintain happiness, give this chance to your mind to relax, to develop, and to suppress and reduce and uproot later all the evil forces which are hiding in our mind. So when we meditate, use the word meditation, at that time we experience some sort of peace. As soon as we stop our meditation, again go back to the normal way of life. No peace, no happiness, all disturbances again. Like this. When you take a bucket of water from a pond, the water is covered with dried leaves and dust. But the water is very clear. So you can shake and all the dirt, you can see clear water. Then you take one bucket of water. Very nice. But after that, the dirt all slowly come and cover. So when you meditate, your mind is pure. You don't allow anger, jealousy, grudge and ill will, all the dirty things, wicked things to appear, disturb the mind. But when you stop your meditation, all these things come and again. When you covered green grass from a bucket or basin, keep for 2 weeks, open. You can see green leaves turn into white color. So when you meditate, lot of changes take place in your mind. It's very calm, very serene, and no anger, no jealousy, no grudge. Because your mind is under the influence of this concentration. But when you go back to your normal way of life, again those things come back. And the grass that you covered for 2 weeks change the color because you stopped the sunlight. After that, next week when you come back, you can see again turned into green color. So our minds are also exactly like this when you come back to the normal worldly life.